In 1995, Friday didn't just make us laugh. It introduced characters that felt like people we actually knew. Smokey, Craig, Debo. They became part of everyday culture almost overnight. But while the movie stayed timeless, the lives behind those characters didn't freeze in that moment. Some went on to massive success, others slowly faded from Hollywood, and a few faced struggles nobody saw coming. Today, we're breaking down what really happened to the cast of Friday, then versus now, and why their stories are far more complicated than the laughs we remember. Let's begin. 1. Ice Cube as Craig Jones. O'Shea Jackson came into Friday already a legend. By 1995, he'd walked away from NWA, released 3 groundbreaking solo albums, and proven himself as an actor in Boys and the Hood. Playing Craig Jones was personal. He co-wrote the script with DJ Pooh, channeling memories of South Central days that didn't make the news. The role showed range most rappers couldn't touch. Craig was every man, caught between his father's old-school wisdom and the chaos of his own generation. Friday made $27 million on a $3.5 million budget and launched a franchise. It also proved Ice Cube could carry a film with wit instead of just intensity. In 2026, Cube is 56 and refusing to slow down. He released his album Man Down in 2024, appeared in a critically panned but financially successful War of the Worlds remake in 2025, and is currently on his Truth to Power 4 Decades of Attitude tour across North America. He co-founded the West Coast supergroup Mount Westmore with Snoop Dogg, E40, and Too Short, proving he still moves as a heavyweight in hip-hop. His production company, Cube Vision, continues to develop projects, and he recently received a handprint ceremony at TCL Chinese Theater. The man who played a lazy day on the porch now tours arenas, builds business empires, and remains unapologetically Ice Cube. 2. Chris Tucker as Smokey. Christopher Tucker was 22 years old and relatively unknown when he walked onto the Friday set. He'd been a regular on Def Comedy Jam and had small film roles. But Smokey was different. Manic, vulnerable, hilarious, and deeply human. His physical comedy, vocal range, and ability to pivot from funny to frightened in a heartbeat made Smokey the film's unforgettable heart. Critics and audiences immediately recognized star power. The role launched him into Hollywood stratospheric, leading to The Fifth Element, Money Talks, Jackie Brown, and eventually the Rush Hour franchise, where he became one of the highest-paid actors in the world at $25 million for Rush Hour 3. Tucker never returned for Friday sequels, citing his Christian faith and discomfort with the profanity and drug use. In 2026, at 54, Tucker is back on stages worldwide with his Legend Tour, performing stand-up to sold-out crowds from Las Vegas to London. He released Chris Tucker, The Legend comedy special in 2024 and appeared in Ben Affleck's AIR in 2023, marking his return to film after years away. There's buzz about Rush Hour 4 potentially moving forward in 2026, though nothing is confirmed. New Tucker has spent much of his time away from Hollywood doing humanitarian work through the Chris Tucker Foundation, traveling the world, and reconnecting with the stand-up roots that made Smokey possible. 3. Nia Long as Debbie Nia Long was already a television darling when Friday came calling. She'd spent 4 seasons on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air as Will's fiancée Lisa, and her beauty and presence were undeniable. As Debbie, Craig's love interest, Long brought warmth and groundedness to a film that could have easily been all-male energy. Her chemistry with Ice Cube felt natural, and she represented the neighborhood girl everyone wanted, smart, beautiful, and unbothered by drama. The role was brief but impactful, cementing Long as black cinema's go-to romantic lead. She followed Friday with Love Jones, Soul Food, The Best Man, and Big Mama's House, films that defined the late 90s and early 2000s black rom-com era. In 2026, Long is 55 and operating at the peak of her powers. She portrayed Shirley Chisholm in the acclaimed 2024 biopic Shirley and played Katherine Jackson in the 2025 Michael Jackson biopic Michael, earning praise for both performances. She received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 2025 and has a memoir coming in 2026 from Gallery Books. Long also starred in a viral 2024 Skims campaign and was Grammy-nominated for her appearance on Janelle Monáe's album. After the public heartbreak surrounding her ex-fiancé, Ime Udoka's scandal while he coached the Boston Celtics, and the tragic death of her son, Ian Alexander Jr. In 2022, Long has spoken about healing, setting boundaries, and no longer accepting work that doesn't serve her spirit. 4. Or Tommy Tiny Lister Jr. as Debo. Tommy Lister didn't need to act to be intimidating. Standing 6 feet 5 inches and weighing 275 pounds with a naturally drooping right eye from a detached retina, he looked like trouble. But in real life, Lister was gentle, funny, and deeply spiritual. As Debo, the neighborhood bully who rides a stolen bike and terrorizes everyone, Lister created one of cinema's most iconic villains. The way he snatched chains, took bikes, and stared people into submission was equal parts terrifying and absurd. His physical comedy, especially riding that tiny bike, was brilliance. The role followed him everywhere, and he embraced it, reprising Debo in Next Friday, and making surprise appearances where he'd slip into character just to make people laugh. Lister's career spanned decades. He wrestled as Zeus in the WWF. He played President Lindbergh in The Fifth Element, appeared in The Dark Knight, and worked steadily in film and television. In early December 2020, Lister started feeling weak and couldn't breathe. Friends tried to reach him and couldn't. On December 10, 2020, authorities found him dead in his Marina del Rey home. He was 62. The official cause was hypertensive and atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease, though he'd been suffering from COVID-19 symptoms in his final days. Ice Cube called him America's favorite bully and said life wouldn't be as funny without him. 5. John Witherspoon as Mr. Jones. John Witherspoon had been grinding in Hollywood for decades before Friday. Born in Detroit in 1942, he'd worked stand-up clubs, appeared on The Richard Pryor Show, and built a reputation as a comedian's comedian. His timing was impeccable, his delivery unforgettable. As Mr. Jones, Craig's father, Witherspoon stole every scene he was in, ranting about dog catchers, explaining how to stretch a meal, demanding Craig get a job, and delivering the film's most quoted line about building doghouses. His frustrated father energy felt like everyone's dad, and his ability to be hilarious while dead serious was a gift. Friday made Witherspoon a household name late in life. He went on to star in The Wayans Brothers, voiced Granddad on The Boondocks, appeared in all 3 Friday films, and continued doing stand-up until his death. On October 29, 2019, Witherspoon died at his Sherman Oaks home from a heart attack. He was 77 and had just performed Comedy Days earlier. His family said he was one of the hardest working men in show business, and Ice Cube tweeted, "Yeah, life won't be as funny without him." Witherspoon had been scheduled for last Friday, the 4th installment, but the project remains in development hell. 6. Regina King as Dana. Regina King was 24 when she played Dana, Craig's sister with an attitude and a vicious right hook. She'd already been a professional actress for a decade, starting on 227 as a teenager and appearing in Boys in the Hood and Poetic Justice. In Friday, King had limited screen time, but she made it count. Her sisterly banter with Ice Cube felt authentic, and her knockout punch to Debo in the final fight was one of the film's most satisfying moments. King treated every role, no matter how small, like it mattered. That discipline paid off. Her career trajectory is one of Hollywood's most impressive. She won 4 Primetime Emmy Awards for American Crime, 7 Seconds, and Watchmen, then took home the Oscar for Best Supporting Actress in 2019 for If Beale Street Could Talk. She became a respected director, making her feature debut with One Night in Miami in 2020. In 2026, King is 55 and untouchable. She starred in Shirley in 2024 and appeared in Darren Aronofsky's Caught Stealing in 2025. She's directed episodes of Scandal and This Is Us, and is developing multiple projects through her production company. The tragedy of her son, Ian Alexander Jr.'s death in January 2022 devastated her, but she continues to work, honor his memory, and use her platform to champion diversity. Friday turned 31 this year, and the weight of that number sits heavy. 4 cast members are gone: John Witherspoon, Tommy Lister Jr., Bernie Mac, and A.J. Johnson. Each loss feeling like losing family. The film was lightning in a bottle. The right cast, the right script, the right moment in black cinema when hood movies didn't have to end in funerals. It captured a specific kind of day, a specific kind of neighborhood, and a specific kind of friendship that transcends generations. Ice Cube and Chris Tucker are still here, still working, still making people laugh. Regina King became royalty. Nia Long is living proof that you can rebuild after heartbreak. The ones we lost left behind performances that never age. Debo's Bike, Mr. Jones's Rants, Bernie's Lear, Easel's Hustle. Maybe the real magic of Friday is that it feels like yesterday and a lifetime ago at the same time. Close your eyes and you're back on that porch, trying to figure out what to do before the sun goes down. Where were you when you first saw it? Let me know in the comment section below. The end.